difficult, and Mr. Gupta has been doing it for several decades now. There's really not much more I can say, except that it's truly a privilege and honor for us at the ICC to be a part of this book launch, and I am sure that all of us will have an exceptionally educational, informative and educative evening. May I now request Mr. Sanjeev Goenka, past president of...
Deep in logic, strong on credibility, incisive in thought. That's what you would expect a Shekhar Gupta piece to contain. Not judgmental, not opinionated. In many ways, redefining a perspective, redefining the way you look at an issue, bringing a new thought, changing or forcing you to think differently about the same issue. A great supporter of entrepreneurship. A great supporter that if you have the means, you have the right to start.
I do not hate politicians. I've never, ever since I've started to know them, I found that Indian politicians are among the most interesting Indians you can meet. They are not just interesting, they are the most hardworking, they are the most talented, believe me. They are the most brutal. Because right from their school days or the labor union days or from wherever they got into politics, they played it like a game in which no prisoners are taken. And they are very hardworking. They work morning to the night. And no matter how much money they make, if they do, they can't make much use of it. I know of politicians who are not particularly poor, but who before leaving home will get one of their valets to specially crumple their pajama. So it looked like he's not a well-to-do man. I mean, one of them was not a corrupt man. He was George Fernandez. In fact, I remember I once went to his home and I said, George Saab kahan hai? And somebody at the home said, piche kapde dho rahe. So I went to the back of the house and he was washing his own clothes. Right? So he wasn't poor, but he was a natural. He was like that. He was low-eyed. But there are many others, and they live very tough lives. Also, the other thing I've learned from them is that if you are fair to them, and if they realize over time that you have no expectation from them beyond the story, then they are very forgiving. And they appreciate that. And I've seen that over generations of politicians. In the introduction of the book, I mentioned a story about Gyani Zail Singh. I was a cub reporter when he was Chief Minister in Punjab. In fact, I was a student, university student when he was the Chief Minister in Punjab. And I, in fact, tweeted a portion of that introduction a couple of weeks back when there was this controversies about the new sort of Vedic historians and scientists saying we used to have planes that traveled between planets and that went back and forth, etc., etc. And I said this kind of stupidity is not the monopoly of one party. Because in the book, in the introduction, I quote a story of Gyani Zail Singh when he came to inaugurate the World Conference of Anthropology at Punjab University, where I was a volunteer as a student. And he said, कि आप scientists सब झूठ बोलते हो, Darwin बिल्कुल fraud था. And this is the World Congress of Anthropology. And he said, एक बात बताइए, Darwin कहता है बंदर से, he said in Punjabi, बंदर तो बंदा बन गया, कि बंदर से बंदा बना. अगर बंदर से बंदा बना तो ये बताओ मुझे कि तोता कहां से आया?
Excuse me, this side.
Sir, this side, sir.
This side.
Sir, this side. Right now, mobile down. All right.
I said like
Nama.
Never got anybody out. Even he got too bad, he didn't get out, but that was it.